I didn't scream. I didn't shed a tear. When the words left their mouths, cold and final, like a judge passing sentence without ever recognizing me as human, I simply nodded. My parents sat across from me in their immaculate living room, a place wrapped in lace curtains, polished wood, and the faint scent of freshly pressed clothes prepared for the wedding. Their tone was steady, rehearsed, as though this cruelty had been agreed upon long before today. If you truly love your sister, the greatest gift you can give her is to disappear forever. They didn't flinch. My father's hand rested on my mother's knee, her gaze lowered, reading her lines like a well-practiced actress. I didn't ask why. I already knew. I had always been the shadow in their house, the tolerated one, never the chosen one. My sister was the crown jewel, their pride, their savior. I was just a burden dressed up with polite smiles. So I rose, went to my room, and began folding my clothes in silence. The framed photograph stayed on the shelf. They never included my face anyway. From the drawer, I collected the spare keys, the bank cards, the documents no one else remembered I managed. When the door closed behind me, the click sounded like punctuation at the end of a bitter, decades-long sentence. They assumed I would vanish quietly, crawl into shame, rebuild in secrecy. They were wrong. That night, their words replayed in my head, each syllable burning like acid, etching scars into my memory. They hadn't just cast me out, they had erased me. But erasing works both ways. The apartment, legally mine, still carried my name on the deed. My parents had long forgotten that quiet day, when I signed the paperwork they didn't want to bother with. They trusted me with the tedious tasks, mistaking my silence for obedience. I sold it quickly. Cash buyers never ask too many questions. By the time the ink dried, the walls that once contained staged dinners and forced smiles belonged to strangers. Next came the joint account. For years, my parents funneled money through me, utilities, transfers, small expenses they never tracked. They trusted. And that trust was the blade I wielded. I froze the funds, locked them airtight, days before the wedding that was supposed to be their grand display of elegance. I didn't rage. I didn't announce my moves. I worked methodically, step by step, like a surgeon excising rot. Memories burned while I moved. My sister at 13, sobbing because she wanted to quit piano. I stayed with her, convincing her to practice another hour. My mother never thanked me. At 17, she borrowed my prom dress, tore it, and laughed. My father shrugged. She's young. Don't make a fuss. At 23, she asked me to polish her college application essays. She was admitted. My name was never spoken. Years of sacrifice, invisible labor, holding their world together. And now their demand was for me to erase myself. The wedding day came. I wasn't there, but my absence was loud enough. Caterers waited for payments that never arrived. Florists withheld their bouquets. The venue manager demanded full settlement before unlocking the doors. My parents, masters of appearances, found their stage crumbling under the weight of unpaid bills. I heard later that the ceremony limped forward anyway. My parents whispered excuses, guests whispered louder, and my sister smiled too brightly, a porcelain mask beginning to crack. The confrontation arrived a week later. Dozens of missed calls. My mother's frantic voice on voicemail. My father's orders disguised as pleas. At last I picked up, my tone sharp and cold. You ruined everything. My father spat. No, I replied. I gave back what you handed me. What did we ever do to deserve this? My mother's voice wavered, still clinging to victimhood. I laughed softly. You told me to disappear. I did. And I took your illusions with me. The silence that followed was heavy, jagged. I could almost hear their realization, the cost of what they had lost. Not only money, not only a wedding, but their grip on me. Their golden child's flawless day forever scarred by whispers. Their family name dragged through the mud they once thought clung only to me. I didn't gloat. I didn't scream. I let the silence stretch until they hung up first. Then for the first time, I exhaled freely. Not weighed by guilt. Not haunted by regret. But clear, steady, and unafraid. They wanted me gone, fine. But they would remember me. Not as the shadow they ignored, but as the hand that dismantled everything they built on my back. I no longer needed their love. I no longer sought their approval. My revenge was clean, deliberate, undeniable. And in the stillness that followed, their absence finally felt like freedom.